Okay. That is the standard form of a circle. Okay, we're going to start though with just easy circles, where the center point is at 0, 0. And you have probably done problems like this before. You might have hit it a little bit in Algebra 1. Like that's a simple form of a circle. Okay, it's the x is squared, the y is squared, and there's addition between it. Okay, this over here is basically my radius. Now that's my radius squared. So if that's my radius squared, then to graph this, I'm literally going to go, there's my center. My center is at 0, 0. Because I don't, if I wanted to put it in that form, it'd be like this. Okay, so that's that form. But I know my h and my k are going to be the center of my circle.
Do you have any paper?
Yeah.
You
You don't have any.
Well, I did, but I think I just used all of them.
Okay.
I have a bunch more at home.
There you go.
Thank you.
So if I were to graph this, the radius is going to be 4. Because this is radius squared. Well, you know the radius means how far up you're going from the center. So I'm going to go up 4, down 4, to the right 4, to the left 4. Okay? The challenging part about this is drawing the thing. If you have a compass, it would make life easier probably.
I think I do.
Your circles will look better than mine anyway. So that's a very generic circle. So as long as it's in the right form, you're not going to have issues graphing it, I don't think. X squared plus y squared is equal to, let's say I have something like 23, where I can't take a whole square root of 23. Okay, are you with me so far?
I think so.
Okay. Literally all this is my center point is at 0, 0, and the square root of that is going to be my radius. Okay, because that 16 is like r squared. Okay. And r stands for the radius. Okay, so the 16 is great because I can take the square root of it and it's positive 4. So I go up 4, down 4, to the right 4, to the left 4 from the center point. Over here, a little bit harder, because I cannot take a whole square root. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a square root, I'm going to get a decimal value. And the decimal value is 4.8. So now from the center, I'm going to go up approximately 4.8. I'm going to go down approximately 4.8. And I'm going to go to the right. And I'm going to go to the left. And each time, it's going to be 4.8. Okay, because the square root of 23 is 4.8. Okay, you with me?
But that's only if the center is...
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's only if the center's at 0, 0. Now, the center's not always at 0, 0. And so, let's do one where we don't have to find the equation. They still give us the equation. Okay, we'll get progressively harder. All right, let's say I have that one. Remember the center's at HK. Now, it's going to be the opposite. It's like the other ones. It's going to be the opposite of what you have here. So the center for this circle is at 6, -4. Okay, you with me?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to graph my circle. Oh, I probably should have done that. Well, I'll do small. Okay, so there's my center. 6, -4. Now, oh, I shouldn't have squared on there. What's my radius?
4.
4, because it's going to be the square root of 16. So from this point, I'm literally just going to count up 4 down 4, it's easier with graph paper. Right 4, left 4. I think I have some graph paper that I will give you before you start on this stuff.
I have more at home.
Well, I got some right here, because it would help if you could do it on graph paper, because that's the easiest way to count. Okay, so that right there is the graph of that. Okay, so as long as it's in the right form, it's really not that hard to do. Okay, you're literally just counting. The problem is they hardly ever put it in the right form. All right, I'm gonna erase this. You good with that?
Mhm.
Okay. Your circle will look much better if you have a compass.
Thought I had it over here. It might be at my house.
Okay, well then you're gonna have,
Oh, found it.
you found it?
Mhm.
Okay.
This thing's kind of hard to
Okay,
use.
just, I was gonna say, there you go, but just, if you hold this down and let that other be, and sometimes you'll find that it's easier to move the paper than where this is. So if you just hold that and just twirl your paper. Okay, now, if I look up here on this one, Sam, what's the center point on this?
-9, -6.
-9, -6. Now be careful, every once in a while, they'll switch these two, but know that your x value comes with that x and the y value comes with the y. But see, that's plus, so that can change the order. Okay, what about the radius? Do you know what the square root of that is?
No.
It's actually 15. Okay, square root of that, and you don't have to draw this one, but so you would draw a circle that had the center at -9, -6, and then you would go up 15, down 15, to the right 15, and to the left 15. Okay, so it's not a hard concept, but that's if it's in the right form. Okay, the tedious part about this is putting it in the right form, and then they add some other complications. So look at this. X squared plus y squared plus 16x minus 22y minus 20 equals 0. Okay, that does not look like that. So that's what we have to do, is we have to put it in that form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my x's together, not completely together, but next to each other, the y's, and I'm going to take the 20 over to the other side. Okay, so I have x squared plus 16x, and I'm going to leave a blank there because I'm going to complete the square there, plus y squared minus 22y, and I'm going to need a blank right there, is equal to 20, and I have 2 blanks here, so I've got to have 2 blanks over there to keep everything even. So, thinking about completing the square, what's half of 16?
8.
What's 8 squared?
64.
64. If I add a 64 there, I've got to add a 64 there. Half of 22.
11.
11 squared?
125. 1.
That's right, 121, good. Okay, so if I added a 121 there, I'm gonna add a 121 there, okay? So this is gonna be x plus 8 squared plus y minus 11 squared. You good with how I got that, right?
I think so.
Square root of that,
Mhm.
this sign, square root of that with a squared on it. Okay, this one's negative because it's that sign. Okay, all right, on this side then, I need to find out what that's equal to. 20 plus 64 plus 121, 205. Okay, so this is a circle with a center at -8, +11, and the radius, I'm going to take the square root of 205, and I'm going to get 14.3. So this is just going to be an estimation, okay? So to graph this, so this is, you've got to come up with that equation, if you will, and to graph it, I don't have a whole lot of room here. Actually, I'll erase that after you're done with it.
Okay.
Okay. I would do the point -8. Okay, so there's my center right there. I'm gonna have a hard time graphing this, but -11, 12, 13, 14, approximately right there. Okay, like I said, with graph paper, it's gonna make it easier. Okay, over here and over here. So you're talking about a good sized graph here. Okay, that, it should make sense, okay? Now, the difficult part is completing the square, but it's really never that bad because you're never gonna factor out anything. If you factor out something, it's gonna end up being an ellipse, not a circle. So you know how we had to factor out something in front of the x squared to complete it? That's not gonna happen, okay? Let's do another one. Actually, I'm gonna give you one to complete the square on. And make sure you don't have to graph it, but just make sure you get it in the right form there. X squared plus y squared plus 2x plus 4y minus 11 equals 0. Okay, put it in the right form.
What is this?
So Chad,
Oh, I don't have 11 on the side. Other side.
you gotta take this 11 over before you can do anything else.
Okay. How'd you get 16?
Half of 2 is 1, 1 squared is 1. So if I added a 1 there, I have to add a 1 there. Half of 4 is 2, 2 squared is 4. So if I add a 4, I have to add a 4 there. So 11
Oh.
plus 1 plus 4.
I was thinking 11 plus 1 plus 4 was 15.
Oh, okay. All right, so if I had this, what would be the center of this circle?
Well, -1, -2,
Good. What would be the radius?
4.
4. Okay. You got it? Okay, then they start messing with you. Okay? So then they start going backwards and they'll give you an example and they'll tell you that they might use the term tangent. And tangent literally means it's a line that hits the circle in one spot. That's what a tangent line is. So, like for instance, they're gonna go, okay, what's the equation of the circle that center is at -6, 1, and it's -6, 11, sorry, and its tangent to the y-axis. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and kind of draw this out so that we get an idea of what it looks like. Okay, so this is -6, 11. Now, I'm going to sketch this because it says it's tangent to the y-axis, which means it hits right there. Okay, this is your y-axis, so it hits right here. I know part of this already. I know the h, so I go x minus a -6 squared plus y minus 11 squared. What I don't know is that radius. How am I going to find that radius?
That's geometry, isn't it?
Well, it's not as hard as what you're thinking. The radius of the circle is that, is it not? How far over is that from the y-axis?
Over -6.
It's over 6, isn't it? So there is, I've gone 6 units over, whether it's up here or whether it's down here. Because of that, see what that x says is 6. So therefore, I know the radius of the circle is 6. So what am I going to put right there?
36.
36. Perfect. You did the problem. Okay, the only thing that I could go back and do is make that plus because it's minus a negative. So this is the equation of the line that goes through it, that has a center at -6, 11 and is tangent to the y-axis. Okay, let's do another one of those.
So do you have to graph it to figure
You
it
don't
out?
have to graph it if you can figure it out without graphing it. I wanted you to be able to see what the radius of the circle was. Okay, so if you don't need, it never says anything about graphing it. Sometimes graphing it allows you to see it easier.
I remember that stuff from geometry.
Yeah. And you probably,